What else do we have to talk about? We were going to talk about the video game. I got my
Bro, we should talk about the strike that's going on.
Let me see this.
What strike?
Yeah, there are grad
strike,
students.
baby.
Grad students are striking at the UCs because the grad students, as Leo knows, because he had to try to a bunch of them to get his grades up.
True.
They are the ones that actually grade the papers. They are the ones that give you your scores on the test. The professors, all they're doing in universities is giving the lectures and then doing their own independent research that raises their prestige as academics.
And the reason they do that is purely to keep the profits up. They pay one professor, there's 500 students in the class, and then they break away where they're paid a grad student. And literally the only requirement they need to do to get this job is just be a grad student. And then they are the ones teaching you. And oftentimes they weren't that good. Did you have some terrible TAs?
Yeah, they weren't awful. So there's the main lecture, and then you break off for these little sections that are more in-depth. And yeah, the TAs are actually teaching you. Best case, they're just grading your papers, and they don't actually teach you. But sometimes, yeah, they really try to screw us tuition payers.
Oh, yeah.
You pay no tuition because you're Latinx, though.
Correct.
I actually pay.
This shit blew my mind. I did not know that's how it worked.
Yeah, that's it, bro. It's a scam-ish. Kind of a scam.
It's not a scam, dude. You're a person of color. Oh, you
No. I mean, I'm talking about the
grad students.
The grad student
Yeah,
part.
bro. That's kind of a scam. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it sounded for a second like you were anti-affirmative action.
Oh,
I'm about to
hell
go over
no.
there.
Are ya?
I'm about to rock your shit. So is Croc.
No, bro. No, you knew what I was talking about.
Thank you. Of
Danny
course,
did
of
too.
course.
Before we move on to the rap battles, do you have anything to say about the unfair labor practices going on at the UC?
Me personally?
You personally. You brought the sign.
I think that in other professions, such as like ballet or something, these like the people who like do the dancing and they have to go to like Europe and study like with these prestigious like dancers who have been doing it for centuries, like they don't get paid. It's all about like the opportunity is the payment almost. So I feel like with a lot of these teachers, like I respect them for wanting to be teachers. And but I always think education has just been known for not having like the resources to pay because there's a kind of good amount of them. So I just feel like the GSIs, like maybe if they didn't ask for more money, but they asked for like less like college payment, you feel me? Like less student loans.
We feel you, dog.
Yeah, less student loans, less university like costs or something. Like I don't think money is the answer for these teachers right now.
I just think they need to stop. I mean, how many more people do we need? How many more people do we need in those universities? I mean, worst case, they're trying to figure out how George Washington committed a microaggression against a fruit vendor in 1700.
No, that's so true.
Best case, they're like trying to figure out why the offensive by the Habsburgs against the Mamluks was ineffective in the 1400s. Like most of it, what the fuck are these kids doing? Let's give them a copy of Think and Grow Rich and a lunchbox and send them out into the real world so they can pay some taxes instead of being leeches, societal leeches into their mid-30s.
Well,
and then going out and just getting offended and wearing turtlenecks.
But wasn't once when the United States was just a powerhouse, when we were truly the best, wasn't it based on in the educational system? Wasn't it because we were producing people that were inventing things like college could get like the invention of something new that could make us a juggernaut. Maybe it's not uranium, but it's a new thing that could create an atom bomb. I don't know.
It was because we had the ability to create something and then sell it and keep the money. So there was an incentive for people to create new things. There's a profit motive. But then in other countries like communism and shit, there's no incentive to make new stuff because you're not going to keep all the profits.
So it's difficult to make stuff in the United States per se. But I mean, wasn't Tesla doing it though? That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's people that do it.
Just a shit lot of regulations.
It's just a lot harder, Leo. That's the thing. It's
a lot harder.
The environment for extreme growth and the kind of frontier leading that the states used to do is no longer here. It's the administrations throughout the last few decades have self-hobbled us. We sent our manufacturing overseas. We signed all these shitty agreements. We agreed to pay for niggas shit for no reason.
A lot of bad
there's
agreements
so many
with science
cumulative reasons that stack.
Yeah, it's the death
for
by a
why
thousand
we're no
cuts.
longer in the lead, if you will, Leo. Niggas don't want us to win, bro. The people who run this shit don't want us winning.
Do you think it's
I'm
weed?
telling you.
Because they've been running it, and then we're new here.
I'm sure that when there's a bigger, bigger portion of the population to study, more time has passed, when we'll really see the effects of weed. Because right now, it's growing more than, I mean, I feel like more people than have ever smoked it before, probably even more in the 70s. It's probably going on now, right? When there's a big population and an extended time to like really study what it's done to our society, we won't really know till then. But I do believe that maybe it's not going to be good.
I take one look at Dino and I know I got to limit my token.
I think it's an upgrade. I think we should mandatorily have babies and stuff put on THC until they're at least 18. That way, then they can decide for themselves.
But it's not like, Danny, if you look at, for example, like
that way they can decide for themselves.
Yeah, once they're 18, they're smart enough to decide for themselves.
Sorry, I tuned him out, Danny. I tuned out. Danny, sorry, Dino. I completely, when you were saying something right now, I just said, fuck whatever Dino says. I'm not going to listen to it.
And is that going to stay that way for the rest of the pod?
Yeah. But what do you think? Like there's beverages that change the world, right? Like coffee.
Coca-Cola.
Sure, Coca-Cola.
Water.
I don't.
When it had cocaine in it.
It's just, it seems to me, and this is maybe just influenced by what I've been thinking about lately, it's just a huge question. Like, what's wrong? Why are we less productive? But it seems like a lot of what's focused on in school now is just how we as Americans have sinned in the past and how we need to spend every moment of our educational journeys and our professional journeys making up for it. It's not even making sure it doesn't happen again. It's like it's self-flagellation. Is that where the Catholics whip themselves with the thingies? That's what we're doing. And it's crazy. We're so concerned because we had slaves in the 1800s. Even though we ended slavery, we recognized its evil and we've been taking steps progressively. It's taken a while, but things are getting better and better for people. We're so obsessed with that, and we refuse to recognize that elsewhere in the world, like China, for instance, there are still slaves right now. I heard this today. There are more slaves in the world right now than there ever were in the 1800s.
No one gives a fuck. Yeah.
All we care about is what we did wrong and how we can make our company super diverse and how we can have endless sexual harassment seminars for all the males instead of putting them in front of a fucking screen, giving them an Adderall, and having them program some shit like they should be doing.
Yeah, we got our athletes wearing Nike shoes made by slaves on the Nike cleats, kneeling for BLM. Like,
Exactly.
Nothing makes sense. But and that could be China, and that could be China.
China
right?
loves it. China loves to encourage our self-flagellation.
Well, let's be clear.
Slows us down.
The CCP loves to encourage.
They do.
It's not the Chinese people. It's the government.
Chinese people are innocent. They are actually abused.
They're not their government. Yeah, you got to remember the Chinese people are not their government.
Absolutely.
I don't want any of you being racist.
I don't really trust my girlfriend because she's Chinese.
Well, you know, you got a point.